to episode 155. How's it going, Well?
It's going good. How's it going?
All right. It's going all right, you know? Hi, Robin. How are you doing?
Oh, just great.
You're doing all right? Yeah. Robin started a new job, and Gail's here. Hi, Gail.
Hi.
Gail's over there. And, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we missed last week. It feels like we've missed a
I
year.
know.
For some reason, I forgot how to do everything, but probably won't miss much more days. That's odd. We haven't missed many. I was looking back, not many, man. We've done them all.
Yeah.
I don't know. This month is sucked. Oh yeah, the kids made it for me. Grandkids made this thing.
Aw.
That's like, you got yours on?
I always wear mine. Solid.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. There they are. No, it's really nice. Anyways, school's coming.
Yeah.
And then you think of that. How about the kids? Are they ready? Or do you think any of them
They're
want to?
not
No,
ready.
they don't. Yeah.
I just hate that I have to get up early in the morning with them. That's
Right. Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
If I didn't have to get up early in the morning.
And next week's gonna be 90, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And we took our cool down.
Yeah, and I don't need 90, man. I was starting to enjoy 65. That was good by me. But then we got 90. So, anyhow,
I'll take it.
I know you love it all year round.
There's too many bees.
I'm just ready. Now I'm just ready
Yeah.
for fall, I guess. But I know there's too many bees. There's too many everything. The mice are jumping, man, right now. It was like the 3 blind mice. Backyard cutting the grass. They were everywhere. You could see them just popping up because my grass got long because it was the rain. I hadn't gotten to it.
Make sure none of them jump out and bite you. They
Yeah,
get hurt.
like me, I got a cat.
I know. They storm the
All for
house.
my
Is what
hat.
they do.
Yeah.
They storm our house
Yeah.
and they come in. And our cat, thankfully, has been unbelievable.
That's what I need to get for the rat problem in my area. Cat.
We need stray cats.
LaSalle has a rat problem. You ain't gonna.
Oh,
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
56th Street. Remember that
Yeah.
thing we had? Those people were on. All right. So what about real quick before we get going? Don't forget about stars. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. That are in there. Val, Cindy. Stars, 100 stars. For 99 cents, we get 100 stars. Those stars help us accumulate. And then Facebook will let us do some advertising. It also gives us money to help us improve what we do.
Yeah.
Because we do this very bare bones. You only could see what's going on here and how this is built up, and it's ridiculous actually. But people say it looks good.
Yeah.
Unreal. Yeah, we do all right. All right, well, we got a guest tonight. So we're talking about school starting, and our friend Dennis Hannon's been with us a couple times now, indoctrinatethis.org. Let's talk about school starting, about these different school districts and all that.
Yeah.
Let's bring him in. Hey,
Yeah.
Dennis.
How are you?
Hey.
All right. How are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. I could complain, but you wouldn't care.
Yeah,
I'd appreciate that.
same here. Yeah, I know. There's no point. But yeah, we were just bitching about summer. It's gonna be 90 tomorrow, or not tomorrow,
That's
next
crazy.
week.
See,
Yeah.
I'm a little guy, so
You
I don't
like it.
mind the heat. It's the
Yeah.
cold that I don't like.
90's a little much, man. Just because it's like 70% humidity here. If we could just like,
Pool or something, or something, keep cool, then I'd be fine with. No, actually, I wouldn't be fine because I don't like sweating.
what about 75? That's fun.
Yeah,
That's
no.
nice.
Yeah.
No,
No.
no
The
75.
last few days have been nice.
They have been 80. She's calling 80. All right. So we're starting school, and what I wanted to bring you on to is to talk about that and the things that we talked about, with the school districts and how they are indoctrinating our children. What more do you know? What more has gone on since we last talked?
A lot. So I've been working with partnering with a nonprofit. I'm not going to mention the name here. I'm still working out the fine details with it. But there's a lot that's going on in the area. So I recently made a post on indoctrinatethis.org, and it has a list called New York School Watch. It's the latest post. And basically it's a list of all of the schools in New York that actually have transgender and gender nonconforming policies that openly state that district personnel can or will keep a student's transgender status hidden from the parents. Notably in our area, Akron, Dunkirk, Buffalo City Schools. Let's see, we have Kenmore, Town of Tonawanda, of course, and Rochester City Schools. I've got about 5 schools that I'm foiling right now with the Freedom of Information law request to force them to hand over their policies on pronouns, locker rooms, sports, as it relates to gender nonconforming students and transgender folks in those schools. So they don't keep these policies front and center. You'll find you usually have to use a Freedom of Information law request to get that, which is crazy to think, because you would think in your mind that they would vote on these policies with the parents knowing about them before they would put them in place. But no, they're quietly sneaking them in. So go to indoctrinatethis.org, check it out. Each link on there for the school actually links to the policy. So this isn't like hyperbole. This isn't me being satirical or exaggerating. This is fact. These policies give these children the right to consent. Not only that, but then hide it from the parents. So I'm sure I'm only going to discover more. But one thing before I take a breath is that I will say is that I'm finding an alarming amount of policies that are the same, meaning all of the way these policies are written, they're almost verbatim, if not word for word, compared to other schools. And one has to ask, did they communicate with each other, or where are these policies coming from? It almost sounds like they adopted a boilerplate standard, and that's what everybody's using as a de facto standard.
I got so now I know you're going to get Niagara Falls, so we'll find out what they're
Yes.
up to, which I'm
Yes.
really curious. That's
I
gonna
have
be
so many more schools that I have to do, and I had such a jam-packed weekend of family fun. I didn't even want to think about it. So now that Monday's here, between tonight and tomorrow, I'm going to be following up on that. Niagara Falls is on the list. There's a handful of schools on the list. Pretty much every district in Niagara County is either on the list to be foiled or has been foiled, and we're awaiting a response. Sometimes that can take upwards of a month, but I'll make sure I keep everybody in the loop.
Oh, thank you. No, definitely we'll have you on more and more with this. But I mean, I'm still at it. I don't know, Noel. It's just kind of a shock. I don't know. It's still like not even feel like it's real that this is possible. And again, this feels like something I'd only hear out of San Francisco. You know what I mean? Something out west, like, and it's being right here. And now a kid at what age? Do they have that written in there? Is there a certain age, or is it any age?
No, the way the policies are written, and I encourage your audience to go, don't just take it from me, right? I'm a guy, I need to see the facts. So go look at the facts. But when you read that, it doesn't have an age, and it's just whatever identity that the student prefers to use, or whatever identity that they persist as at school. Now, in my case, I had no idea, right? That's how I started this. Was I had no idea. So I don't know, like, how they don't define what is persistence either. If there's a certain time frame, they don't specify. So it's the details in it are ambiguous. They're not specific, and it's really open to interpretation, and really leaves it up to the best judgment of the instructor or school administration, which is scary.
Yeah, that is very scary. Oh my God, because we know what they've done through the years, with all kinds of atrocities that have gone on in the schools with children being molested and stuff like that. So what's really amazing? They could be kindergartners, but I'll tell you what, if that kindergartner came with like saying, "Hey, someone did," you know what I mean?
Right.
Someone touched me, someone did something. I'll tell you right now, they would not. I'm sure it wouldn't just be taken for its word. No way. This is really sick shit that's going on here. And Dennis, it's got to be all over our state, right? It's the entire New York state.
It's got to be. And I'm not one to assume, right? But I'm seeing it. When I worked in the FBI, we had a saying, right? It was the first time is a one-off, the second time it's a coincidence, the third time is a pattern. And what I'm seeing is a pattern. I am seeing a whole ton of schools that don't have these policies front and center, and they all have the same wording, the same verbiage, the same. It's like they just copy pasted it from somebody else. But where? And that's my next question, right? I'm going to dig down this rabbit hole. First, I need to discover how many schools in Niagara and Erie County have policies like this. And then when I get that data and I can consolidate all that data, I can see, are there really any differences? And then I'm going to start asking the question, well, where did these come from? Because obviously we have strength in numbers. If I have every single school in Niagara and Erie County with the same policies, then they came from somewhere, right?
Yeah. And I'm going to imagine, I would hope, because now there's people that still can't believe it. I've said it to people. I know they listen, but they just can't. It's unbelievable. I don't know what generation could ever find this as normal because it's incredible. I mean, it's absurd. I don't even know what to say. I mean, you're telling me that a kid, oh God, can be
Has the right to consent.
at 6 years old, he can consent. Yeah, consent. They want
They
that.
can't even make their own decisions at that age. They can't.
No, and
They can't do really.
but this
anything
makes me
themselves.
wonder how far we're going to go with this because the age of consent is what here, 17?
Yeah.
In New York State. Do you know where I'm going with this?
Something
Like, what
like
are we
that,
going to do next?
It's wild. It
Yeah.
really is wild. You know, I'm doing this because I feel like it needs to get done, but I
Mhm.
can assure you that I get zero pleasure and enjoyment out of doing this. So it is a probably the worst hobby that I've ever had.
Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, but it's so important. I mean, because none of us would have until I heard from about you. You know,
Yeah.
never, not in a million years. Did you ever
Yeah.
cross your mind?
No.
No, never.
And then when did these policies get in place? Were they voted on? When did they get in there? Because when this happened to my son, this was like 7 years ago before anybody
Oh.
had ever even heard of this, right? And now people hear about it, but they're like, yeah, that can't really happen here. And then I'm proving that not only is it happening here, it's everywhere here, but you just don't know about it because it's not in your face. But it begs the question, when did these policies get in place and where were they adopted from? Those are my two fast follow-ups that I want to do.
And it's 7 years ago. Jeez. Wow. I didn't even, that's interesting too. That it was set because right now it just feels like we're hearing about this for the first and not just all around the country, right? So it's 7 years ago. Why am I forgetting? What is that? What year is it? 7 years ago. Tell me. What is it? 2018? No,
20 something.
2016?
Oh yeah, should have
Yeah.
known. that.
Thanks. We're so bad here.
I should've known
We really
that.
need to go back to school.
Luckily, I'm a bank.
Yeah, good thing
Please.
you're a baker, Robin. That's right. What is she saying?
I'll pull the walls there just.
Oh, yeah, that comes out of nowhere. So Dennis, I mean, think about, you know what else I can't wait to do after you dig more and more? I want to talk to the I want to bring them on. I want to bring on board members. I'd love to know what they know. Do they even know this exists? Like, I'm wondering, I feel like they sit there and they don't know.
Please let me be there for that.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do it. Yeah, we'll have you in a box. Like, I'm just curious though, do they know? Because have you ever, you were in front of them that time.
Several times. I've done like 3-4 school board interviews. Now they censor me from their live streams and I'm not allowed to face the parents.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
And when you talk to, like, so those people, because usually the board members, right? I think of the ones here in Niagara Falls. Okay, those are the ones I got an idea on, and they were normal people. Like they weren't anything. Like there'd be the guy that was, he was selling rugs, or I don't know, whatever. Obviously they were business people, whatever. But I knew of them, so they know this is happening. That's what I want to know really badly. How much do you guys know, and does it? Why do I feel like they don't know? How do you like the people sitting on the board?
They know. They know. They might want to play coy, but they know. Nobody else is responsible for this but them.
Yeah.
I mean, they might get guidelines and recommendations down from the state, but ultimately it's up to them to institute them, and how they do that and how they go about doing that is up to the school board. And, I want to remind everybody here that these school board members, before they're sworn in, they're supposed to take an oath of office. Okay. And that's another thing that I'm foiling these people for, because if they don't take an oath of office and that's not signed, then they're impersonating an official. That's an easy way to get the hell out.
You know what I want to know though? And it's shocked. I can't believe not one board member has said anything. You know what I mean? Like not one of them has an objection, like says nothing. They're dead silent, almost like they're, I don't know, robotic.
No, so I'll give you some insight. Before I started going to the school board meeting, I actually had a personal phone call with a superintendent at my child's school. And he was more focused on the fact that what they did it with legal involved and there was no crime that was committed. And I told him, just because something is legal doesn't mean that it's right. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that that's in the best interest of the child to do it. And he seemed like it was very much of a cover your butt kind of thing, and that legal was involved. And then I threw him for a loop and I said, okay, well, if legal was involved, what about a school counselor? and crickets, right?
Right.
So it's not about what's doing best for the child. It's about doing what comes out of Washington and the state so they can get that sweet, sweet federal money. That's all it boils down to. Because if they had the child's best interest at heart, they would realize that this is a bunch of crap. And if it wasn't, then they would put it front and center. Why hide it? Why censor me from live streams, right? When I talk about it, right? Why is it that you removed a book from the school library that talked about sexism and sexual identity that was targeting K through 3?
Yeah.
Right. They slip it in there and hope that you don't notice. And then when you call them out on it, they either distract, deflect, or deny. Maybe in a different order, but it's always the same.
I can't wait to talk to board members because I guess what it is, I just cannot believe that there's not one of them that step. You know what I mean? Because they come from, like, all I'm trying to say is like they're coming from normal, like your normal community. Generally, the board members are like that. You know what I mean? It isn't like
in the community, like our politicians used to be.
Yeah.
Before career politicians existed.
Yeah, you're right. Abbott has a rapist mom in the school counselor.
Right. And how is it that they have? I don't know. I guess I'm being a blockhead. I would think that one guy, one woman somewhere would say, no, this just can't be, and then just get whatever. They quit or they take a stand, do anything, nothing.
Well,
what a bunch of cowards.
Yeah. Nowadays, if you go to a school board meeting and speak up about it, you get put on an FBI watch list. That's happened to parents around the state. There's several stories about that. I'm probably somewhere. Who cares, right? I mean, like, whatever.
Right. Cindy's asking this, Dennis. Dennis, have you ever been in contact with the hell's this? Silk from Diamond and Silk. Do we know what that is?
No.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is?
That's obviously a show.
Oh, it's a podcast.
It sounds familiar.
That might be like
It sounds familiar.
I feel like it's I think it's a conservative podcast. I think it's something like that. I think it's two black women.
Yeah, didn't they used to be on Stephanie Miller?
No, these people are like Trump supporters. Is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
No, because I think they were a big deal in 2016. I think they came forward, with going for President Trump and stuff. All right. I want to talk to you about a few more things though too, because I'm dying to talk to you about some of the stuff that happened nationally, politically. Because I like hearing your talk. I like hearing what you think about politics.
I'm not an expert. I just read a lot, so.
No, that's good because I watched the Republican debate, and when I watched it, here's what I thought. Then I want to know what you thought. I liked Vivek. I liked what he said. I liked everything he said. Everyone else on that stage felt to me like it might as well have been 2004 Bush. All of them. I was actually, and I'm not a Republican or Democrat anymore. I'm neither. And I don't know. That's how I felt. How'd you think? If you watched it?
I did not watch the debate because I was one of the people that went over and watched Trump on Tucker during that same time. However, I will say that I'm not a fan of Vivek. I think that's the proper pronunciation of his name.
Yeah.
Right? Vivek, his first name. I believe he's a squishy rhino. He is a Democrat in Republican clothing, and the reason why is because he had a book. I forget what the name of it was, but I read some excerpts out. He's done a lot of back and forth, especially his take on the January 6th stuff, voting integrity. I think he's very well spoken.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the salesman pitch down, and maybe I'm wrong here, but there's just something about him that just doesn't feel right. I think when push comes to shove, I don't know if he'll have the backbone and the spine because talk is cheap, right?
I feel like he wants a part of the Trump administration. I really do, because he completely and totally he endorsed him already, almost over himself. I mean, he was probably the only one who raised his hand, I think, when they said that, or the other ones did kind of begrudgingly, some of them. Would you vote for the president? Would you vote for Trump if he gets convicted? And everyone was like, no one wants, and he just raised his hand.
And you know who's a joke? It's Ron DeSantis. Does anybody remember the Ron DeSantis commercials where he was teaching his kid to build a wall and talking all this stuff about Trump, and now he's running against him? And
Perfect.
Bingo.
Yeah, I want to hear what Dennis thinks of her. Yeah. What do you think of DeSantis?
I think he should stay the governor of Florida and stay in his lane. I think he's doing a great job with Florida. One of the things that I didn't like that he did was he actually changed the legislature or the legislation in Florida to favor him in a way where he could run as president and still be governor of Florida at the same time. And that didn't sit well with me because to me, that's another politician that's changing legislation so that they can advance their own agenda is really what that is to me. And I think that Robin made a good point. It's almost like these politicians out there, they want the Trump vote. They'll say what they need to appease the MAGA crowd. But when push comes to shove, will they actually vote for the MAGA legislature and put America first? And I don't know if I'm sold.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Though I know I'm not so like everyone else on that stage was Nikki Haley, the two guys I don't know how they are, Asa Hutchinson and the guy from North Dakota. There was and Chris Christie's a joke, and Mike Pence. I know those guys. Those guys are Bush 04. I mean, they basically are Bush Cheney all over again. You know what I mean? So I don't even know if they're any different than the guy who's there now. If they got it, it's kind of similar.
Yeah, we need America first policies.
Yeah.
We need to close the border. I mean, I can go on and on about the things that we need to do. I mean, to fix the current state that we're in, it's pretty simple. You can do it in about 6 steps. It's just who has the stones to do it.
Let me ask you about the Trump prosecutions. I think it's number 4 in Georgia.
Yep.
What you know of it is he's going to get convicted, I'm sure, in Georgia. I would imagine. That's a no. I think it's a definite. He'll be convicted. Your thoughts on all that?
He's going to get convicted of something. They're throwing everything in the kitchen sink at him. I mean, what is he, over 90-something charges now? One of those has to stick, right? But I think he can still win the presidency, even if he's behind bars. I think.
Yeah. Well, I think he keeps going up, right? No one's close to him in the in the polling. It's not even close.
No, he's up 60 points.
Yeah, like it's really, and the more they do it, if I was his opponent, I'd be really upset because the more they indict, the bigger he gets. Go ahead, Robin.
Let me ask you, Dennis, do you think that him being indicted and the mugshot and all that sensationalism actually helps him in that he might appeal to somebody who he wouldn't have appealed to otherwise because he's going through all this?
Absolutely, the minority voters. Because they have always said for a very long time that they are, and you know, that's what they're saying, that they've been marginalized. They get targeted by cops. We see the statistics of, you know, what percentage of minorities get arrested, detained versus, you know, other groups out there. So I think that this is almost like a badge of honor, right? It's relatable. He got arrested, and if it can happen to him, it can happen to anybody. And I think that he really speaks to those minority voters that have been victimized by the system and incarcerated, whether it be unfairly or otherwise.
I would like Fox News to stop saying something because they kind of crack me up. They say, oh, there's 2 tiers of justice. No, there's probably like 3 or 4, because if you're talking between millionaire to billionaire, you know, when you really think about it, what are we doing here? We got billionaire to billionaire. Okay, we got that going on. Okay, so we got those tiers that I could never be a part of. But then there's ours, you know what I mean? The one that we live with daily, which is another set of rules. Yeah. So it kind of cracks me up when they say that. I don't know, it just makes me laugh.
That is a buzzword that they've been hanging on to a lot, is 2-tier justice system.
I don't like it because it's like 4.
Well, Fox has gone downhill. I mean, firing Tucker, the turn on Trump, the whole thing, you know, them backing Ron DeSantis, they've turned me off.
Yeah. Fox News is all about churning out the uniparty, right? The Mitch McConnells of the world, the people that are going to vote on both sides of the aisle for even Democratic policies. And the Republicans are going to make concessions. We're going to cry uncle, and ultimately we're going to succumb to the progressive demands of the lunatic left.
I honestly think, and I know people will be upset, I guess, I don't know, but it might be only Trump who can beat Biden. I don't know if any of these other people can. I just don't, because I think if Trump's not the nominee, there are people that won't go. Like there's a group of people that it's him or nothing. I truly believe that they will not. There will be outrage if somehow he's not. Also, I don't know how far they're going to push this, because sooner or later people are going to, I think, if they put him behind bars, can you imagine he's going to be convicted? You want to talk about protesting? I think it'll happen.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. People are
I don't. It's not going to be pretty.
Inflation. Yeah, I mean, it can't be. All right, something that's not pretty I want to ask you about before I let you go is COVID mask mandates again. I see that New Jersey, Rutgers, a bunch of places in New York State are doing it with the hospitals and stuff.
And there's word that Biden's gonna enact another mask mandate.
Is he? He's going to do one. What do you think about
Well,
these mask mandates coming or not? What do you? I don't know.
They're coming. They're coming, and COVID was just a pilot. And ultimately, I can kind of go down the rabbit hole here, but I won't. But really, this is going to transform into like a global vaccine passport kind of thing. It's all about control. And I think it's very ironic. They're going to bring back mail-in voting over this too. I think that's part of the ploy, is to bring back mail-in voting before the primaries. Now, why they would want to do that, is up for debate. I won't talk about it here. But there's an agenda behind this and the timing. I just got 20 COVID shots before the show just to play it safe. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I see people with 2 masks on in their car by themselves, and it's crazy. It's ridiculous. We know masks are 20% effective at best. We know everybody that's gotten the shot had COVID. They realize it doesn't work. What's going on here? I'm more worried about the children in school. That is where my primary focus is, because look at the loss of education and social interaction that we saw during those COVID years. So I'm worried about the kids.
Will you? Go ahead. Are you gonna say?
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. Will you? I guess. Do you think they can't shut it down like they did it last time? I can't imagine they believe they could get away with it. Do you think they would?
I think they might try. I think they might try, because if you would have asked before if that would have happened, you would have said, no way, there's no way they'll shut down the world over COVID. And they did, right? They did, because we wanted to keep our jobs. We wanted to go to the grocery store. We wanted to gather. We wanted to all come together. But it's funny because, they would block church gatherings and religious assemblies, but they would allow protests for Black Lives Matter. So they're very selective. And what is allowed and what isn't. I don't put anything past the government anymore. I really don't.
Yeah. And especially with an election year. I mean, that obviously helped Biden win. There's no doubt. I mean, the debates were terrible, and the mail-in voting.
Just the economy. If you look at the way the economy was running under Trump before COVID, they had to do something. Things were too good.
They crushed small business. The big box stores were allowed to be open, Walmart, all of them. Yet the small mom and pop shops had to close down. They don't have the credit line or the resources available to them to weather that storm. They're still recovering. Our housing market, everything is still even recovering from COVID. This is a very slow, and things don't just happen overnight with these policies, and we're already in a weak state as it is. So I can't imagine, but I do have a feeling that they're going to try it again. I hope I'm wrong. I really do.
Yeah, I can't. Because I'll tell you this, I regret that
I'm not sending my kids to school with masks.
No, that's ridiculous. The kids with masks, and I'll never get a shot again. I'll never do it again. I can't believe I did it, and I'm not good. I after doing it, I got COVID twice, and I'm not. Things are different for me since I've done. I know it is. I going to the doctor tells me I am different.
Cindy in the message board just said since getting the vaccine, she has AFib.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of heart issues with it.
Well,
and a lot of deaths of young people as a result of the vaccine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. What'd she say? Angela says, we put our feet down, don't work, don't shop, no gas. We shut them down. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, if we could do that, if we could, eventually we're on the path to something. I don't know what it is, Dennis, but I feel like there is when I say these things, they kind of sound, I guess, wacky, but
Say it.
There
It
feels
ain't
like
gonna
there's gonna
sound
be
wacky to me. I trust you.
there feel like there's gonna be a reset somewhere. And I don't know what that is, like a reset button, something. Because
Well,
it's
that is what this is. This is the Great Reset. The World Economic Forum talked about this. They, you know, a lot of this is about population. We're overpopulated. They want it. They want a great reset, and ultimately, what we're heading to is an. And I know the conspiracy theorists will go nuts, but it really is a new world order where you're going to have these superpowers start to converge together, and they're all pushing the same globalist agenda.
and I feel like there's got to be a reset as far as social stuff, like like we talk about what's going on in the schools. We talk about, somewhere. I think it's got to stop, because I don't know how much further it could go. You know what I mean? Like, I know kids are being allowed to be cats,
Yeah.
with litter boxes and stuff. I mean, what I'm saying, I guess that's my reason. Like, the people doing it. Like, I guess I was thinking more of a revolt of the people. I know they're trying to, what they're doing with our and like you said, the economy. They're trying to.
Nicole sent me a
What's that?
Ryan's niece sent me a picture of one of the girls at the school that's a cat.
Oh, we got a cat.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So that's true, because I've heard a lot of story. Oh my, dude.
Yeah, there it is. She's got a tail.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard that there is a therapist out west that is embracing children identifying as minotaurs. That's a real story. So where does it end?
That's what I mean. That's my reset. The people are gonna. I don't know if people are too complacent. Then I don't know where we're going. Because if COVID didn't teach you,
Yeah.
I mean, COVID hurt us all. I mean, let's think about I'm not recovered from COVID. I know I'm not, financially or otherwise. Still, because it took our job.
Mhm.
It took everything. So I hope people will. I don't know. I hate to say the word revolt, because people, I think a revolution, because that's a little much, I'm sure, for some to hear. But I kind of feel that way.
We can't continue to do the same things or nothing at all and expect different results. We can't.
Oh, geez, Vale. Let me read what Vale says. My cancer is atypical, growing very fast. I had 3 COVID shots. I don't know if it's related, but it makes me wonder.
Yeah, so I do a lot of reading, and I'm glad that she mentioned that. And they said that there's been a rise of cancers and different forms of cancers, and I guess even people with cancer that end up getting the shot, it progresses very quickly. I read that. It's out, the article's out there, but when you have the maker of the Myrna, the RNA delivery technology, that comes on and he says, hey, you shouldn't get the shot, you shouldn't do it. There's been a lot of doctors out there that are, and they're losing their license, right? It's just like the lawyers that defend Trump, or the MAGA Republicans, or the J6ers. They lose their ability to practice. They take away their livelihood. So even if you have people out there in a position of power to where they would be able to do something about this, they feel like they can't. They're silenced because they have bills to pay. They have a family. They have mouths to feed too. And quite frankly, they want to keep up with the Joneses as well. So they just stay complacent in all this. But I will say to your audience, if you get COVID, it might be worth asking I am not a doctor. Okay, I'll preface with that. But it would be very wise of you to find a doctor who will help you get hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin. Combine that with anticlonal antibodies, and there's been reports that your COVID will go away in between 1 to 3 days. But I'm not a doctor, so ask yours.
All right, Dennis, before you go, we let you go. I got to ask you something that someone asked me. They sent a message about you to me and asked if you would ever run for political office.
I get that a lot. It's strange that people ask me that a lot. I've
Someone
had
asked
actually
me.
other news people, national news people, that are, you should run for office. I don't know. It's hard because I have a soul
Mhm.
and a conscience. But I've considered it. I've considered it because I've lived through the struggle and the hardship. I came from nothing. I'm a high school dropout. Okay, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I learn what I know from reading and life experience. But that's interesting.
Yeah.
So thank you. I think you're making me blush a little bit.
Oh no, yeah, it'd be good. You get on those, you start screaming, and because it's, unfortunately, you got a soul, so you'd end up being very angry a lot. I'm sure, because I know I would be.
Yeah.
I toyed with it myself, thinking about doing something, and I know that I'd just be angry. because there's no way you couldn't be.
And this is new to me, right? Like, guys, I'm a software engineer by trade. All right. I'm a nerd. I'm the guy that you find in your mom's basement on the keyboard, right? Like, this isn't me. And so I'm introverted, and this is a new thing that I've been doing. And I've had to really step outside of my comfort zone. And the reason why is, one, because of my experience, right? And sharing that. But two, it's the only way that I think that any real change is going to happen, right? The most powerful person in the world is a storyteller. So we'll see where life takes me. I'm open to new endeavors. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you.
Are you doing a radio show or a podcast? Are you doing anything?
Yeah, I've been toying with this idea. I've been planning it. I was thinking about getting my own podcast going. Actually not even thinking about it. I have been getting my own podcast going. I just haven't really announced a whole lot. I've been kind of busy and with the other stuff, the school stuff that I'm doing, and family stuff. But
well, let me know and let us know, please, so we can help you share it, whatever we can do, and put it out there, because the people that watch us like you a lot. Because I do, every time you're on, we get good, the messages we get are always good. So that's cool.
Thank you.
All right, we'll let you go. Enjoy yourself the rest of the night, and you'll be back on, because I like to get your, like, even if it's not having to do with the indoctrinate.org, I do like talking to you about politics and stuff. So when stuff happens, we're gonna have to reach out.
I love it. One thing, to keep an eye on too is the strengthening of the BRICS nations and what's going on over there. So if you're not familiar with that, Google that. There's a little bit of homework for you. But if anybody also wants any help, checking their school out, you can find me indoctrinatethis.org. Find me on Facebook, find me on wherever. I'm more than happy to help. This is what I do. So I just thank you for having me. And Robin, congratulations on the new job.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's going well. It's something. She's a banker now. Isn't that fun?
Oh, God, that was 9 years of my life, 10 years.
All right, man. I'll let you go. We'll be talking to you soon.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Dennis.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. So Dennis Hannon, there he goes.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
He's always got a lot of information and he knows a lot.
He could run for something.
He could definitely run for something.
It'd be tough because he'd have to battle.
Yeah.
Because people would ultimately aren't going to like,
Right.
the people in power will like him.
Right.
So it'll be a hell of a fight, but we'd love to see it.
I would love to see it.
Even on a school board, just whatever.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a quick break? And when we come back, you got to tell me what happened with D'Angelo and his stupid ass. What is it? It was a election fraud, right?
Yeah, the election fraud.
All right. When we come back, let's talk about, let you know what happened there and discuss it. Be back in about a minute and a half.
Digits 988 can save a life. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides connection to free confidential support. There is hope. The Lifeline works. For 24/7 confidential support, just call, text, or chat 988.
we're back.
I'd only be
Don't-
glad that I didn't.
Yeah, please, because I don't want to
Yeah,
kind of put two and two together and make
Right.
four.
I'll sit here and shut up.
Well, no, just about that.
Yeah.
'Cause of what I just said.
Yeah,
Not you saying, I could care less what you say about her.
yeah.
Whatever, that pig. Let's talk about D'Angelo. Speaking of pigs.
Yeah.
4 months in jail. We know, they already know his release date.
You know, they keep saying 6 months.
It's a lie.
Not
Yeah.
6 months.
They got it in writing what it
Yeah,
is.
it's on November 3rd.
Well,
Um,
funny was the day they arrested him and put him in jail, they had his release date, so they already knew.
yeah,
that
how'd
it
they
was-
know that, right?
Right.
It was put out there at that same time.
Yeah, they don't usually credit you with good behavior beforehand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and he,
So that's another thing. We got to keep our eyes out, because if he already got that credit, who knows if he's going to get more.
Did you
Right.
see the police officers when he was walking out with them? He was laughing with one of the police officers. I mean, even one of the victims caught it. Like they
Yeah.
caught it right away. He was laughing with one of the police officers.
he got the best deal, better than like Biden's son. I've
Yeah.
never seen a deal like this. Guy got out away with 11 felony or 12, whatever it was now, and he got away with 4 months.
Yeah.
Think about that. There's no deal in the world. I've never heard. No defense attorney. That's incredible. Like,
And he's already in there doing things he shouldn't be doing,
Yeah.
and still his release date is.
well, they're not
like,
acknowledging.
They haven't, taken away anything. They
Yeah.
should be.
They're not acknowledging it. It didn't
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. well,
That's the point.
They did happen.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So they look very, very bad. Yeah. So they're not. But I'm saying, what a deal. Every time I think about what a deal this guy
Yeah.
got.
No
I-
wonder why he took it. I mean, that's why he
Oh,
was,
Yeah.
that's why he was thanking the court.
You should be
course.
whistling. Yeah. I mean, you got 4 months for all those felonies.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Not even 4, because even 4 years he should have been dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 months. Those people, that is the best deal in the history of deals.
I'd love to go commit 12 felonies and get 4 months.
And Biden's son, who is the president's son, even the judge stopped. They had a deal, an
Oh.
incredible deal, really ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the judge of that, you know what they did?
What?
Said no, it's not. It's too much. And the judge stopped it. Remember we were saying that about the judge should stop it
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
The judge in the Biden case, Biden's son, stopped it because she said, "Wow, this isn't fair."
Raven should have won.
But they didn't stop it, and this guy got 4 months, and now he's still, as we recall, more nonsense with his trying to set up the DA who was
Yeah.
trying to prosecute him with
Well,
campaign fraud.
Right.
In the article in the Gazette, his lawyer said that if the issue can be resolved, D'Angelo is ready to accept the plea offer. So they've
Yeah, so
already
they've
got
already got
a
they already
plea
got a plea deal.
offer on the table for him.
And it's not jail time.
It's amazing how they're just giving him these plea deals.
Mhm.
How could it be jail time, right? He got 4 months for 11 felonies.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do here?
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
$500 fine, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. You could set the DA up. Like, you could literally commit crimes and set up a DA to try to get her kicked off the case.
No, you can't.
No, we can't.
Yeah.
He could.
There's your 4th tier.
Yeah.
Justice. We were
Yeah.
talking-
Yeah.
I mean, how in the world? Yeah, that was like when I remember we were sitting here talking about when it all came out, and this is where I was stupid. I thought, okay, that's it. That has to be it. If there's any type of fairness, you'd figure that'd be it, because now you did it to the. I've never heard anything like that.
Yeah.
In any case, anywhere where you set up the prosecutor and they just didn't give a damn,
Yeah.
and they still don't. So
Still don't.
did they say anything? It's adjourned, so we're gonna go back at it again.
And what I read in the paper, and I'm trying to find it again, was they adjourned it until January.
Yeah.
When they're going to see him again for the level of sex offender. So that means if he gets out in November, which he shouldn't be getting out until January, but we saw the release date, that's when they're going to do it, is in January. So he'll be out for 2 months
On his own.
with no level of sex offender applied to him.
So somebody who showed up to the court
Wow.
date on Friday, because Nick had his court date on Friday for the campaign fraud charges. The person said, might just be this person speculating, but that she wants to accept plea when he has to register as a sex offender, which would be after he gets out of jail. Clerk told him the judge wanted to do both at the same time instead of do separate hearings, I guess. And it's still given the month of Buffalo.
Yeah, so the hearing would likely be held in early January.
And he'll already be free.
But if they let him out in November, because January would have been when he got out.
Right.
Right.
So she's going on the assumption that in January we'll do everything together.
Wow.
Makes no sense.
No.
The deal. The
by
deals keep
January,
on
when he
coming.
gets out in November.
Right, and then he just walks around and.
So
does
you
his
just get to
thing.
walk around.
And then I mean, why did they not even bother? I mean, why don't they just throw it out? Like in my mind, at this point,
Yeah,
just say it doesn't, just
yeah.
forget it. Let it go, because you threw out other things that were felonies and disgusting. So just throw this out. Who
Yeah.
even cares? Because that's against that was a crime against the prosecutor. You know
Yeah.
what? I could care less. Good.
Honestly, yeah, good. She deserved it,
Good.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Yes, you deserve that.
She deserved it.
You get what you get, and I guess you don't care anyway. So, because I'll say this, the prosecution, it makes me laugh. They celebrate that they got a conviction.
Yeah, they didn't like the bad publicity that they were getting. They didn't like that people were angry at them for this at all.
Yeah, I think they tried to tell you to be quiet.
They tried to tell me to be quiet. Like, they tried talking me
Into it.
into it, like accepting it and everything. No.
We're the only ones that will talk about it, because it's misjustice. I've never seen anything. Well, it's working properly, but all I'll say is Biden's son, who was the president's son, they went there with a thing saying that he wanted immunity and all this stuff. And the judge, think about this, sat there and was able to say to them, no, this ain't going to work. That's too much. And we couldn't get that here.
No.
He's that.
This judge is a woman. That's what bothers me the most. She's a woman. You would think as a woman, she would be more irritated, and no, she's not. She's just, however.
What bothered me in court that day was the girl who got up to make her impact statement. You're nervous, okay? When you're nervous, you talk fast,
Right.
okay? Plus, she was young. She was the minor.
Right.
It wasn't, okay. Well, anyways, you talk fast. And she kept telling her to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Slow down, because the people from the media were trying to write the stuff down that she was saying. Slow down. And she kept telling her to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
That's weird.
Yeah.
What is that?
And she wasn't saying it nicely either.
No.
Like, oh, we want to hear everything you have to say.
Yeah.
Slow down. She was more irritated with her than she was with D'Angelo.
Yeah, after she heard what she had to say, that's when she should have said, you know what? That's it. No, there's no 4 months. Like, you need to go to actual jail you need to go to prison. That's what she should have done as a judge. But
No, they really, I mean, it's the deal of a lifetime.
yeah.
I mean, we've never seen anything like this. I don't know what else to say, because there's people that we see and I don't care. Obviously, I'm glad they go to prison for 20 years. They've done a lot less.
Yeah.
Actually, and it's
Yeah,
bad. They did what they
2 years
did.
in jail for freaking marijuana.
Right.
Somebody just got out of jail 2 years for marijuana.
2 to 4 years for the guy spray painting
Yeah.
on the other guy's fence. A racial slur, which is disgusting. And give him 2 to 4, but then D'Angelo should get 20
Right.
or 40, 20 to 40, then
I want
whatever.
to know, like, who had, like,
Think
who was
about-
protecting him? Like, how did they just come up with this? Like, what? I want to know all the inside details.
Now, he got a sweetheart, like a deal like we've never seen. How about the guy's lawyer who spray painted the fence?
Yeah.
Who was he? He had to be just a buffoon.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah.
He went to state prison.
Yeah.
The other guy, what lawyers?
Yeah.
Wizards. But that's because when the prosecutor just rolls over, I mean, they were instrumental. The prosecution, you know what I mean? Like the defense, I won't give them that much credit, because I don't think they fought for anything. It was kind of handed to them going into this. The only thing that wasn't handed to them is you and others yelling.
Yeah.
Other than that, if they had kept quiet, this would have been beautiful for them. You know what I mean? This would have been an easy, just
Involved in helping out with D'Angelo. Well, that's another thing too. Janelle was involved with this campaign fraud stuff. Like, her campaign was involved. With nothing with her. I mean,
yeah. Why wouldn't they be angry?
Yeah.
They should be furious.
Yeah.
Because they could put on I mean, really, they should be on the hook for something.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
They're
she
using
got
their
out of it.
stamping and doing all that stuff.
she got out of it. She knew exactly what Nick was doing. Her and Jamie DePietros, they knew it.
They would have to.
They
Why
have to.
wouldn't they know?
Oh,
I mean,
they do.
that's, would you just let people run around, and especially like him
Yeah.
at the time, he's already on track. You know what? We're fucked, and it is a 4-tier system that doesn't really work for anyone, because it's on purpose. I mean, it does protect pedophiles.
Yeah.
We know that already. We see how it protects them. They don't allow them to go to prison ever. It's very hard to get them in
Right.
prison. And then guys like D'Angelo, you add in the fact of and this is what kills me. You could go look at Jimmy Carter's brother. You can go look at Biden's son. You can go look at a lot of people that they just cut ties with. They're like, oh, you know what, enough. There's too much with these people.
Right.
Just go away from us. Why not him, right?
Right.
Because you could have just cut away. He couldn't have done. What could he have possibly done to any of them? They're judges. They're already got what they got. No one's taking their judgeships away.
Right.
That's what kills me about this. Like you said, I'd love to know who and why. And I'd like to also ask, if I could, probably not the judge, maybe the prosecutor, maybe the defense attorney, was it that week? Was the case that
Right.
week? Was all this stuff that week? Like, was it really that up in the, like, it was that week that if we went to trial, you'd lose. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, they had also 3 other girls' charges that could have went against them, and
They didn't even want to throw
yeah,
out.
throw that out.
What a deal that is. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, how weak was this? Like, that's what this feels like.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me all that went on there wasn't enough.
I think they were lazy and didn't want to do anything. But they dragged it out for 3 freaking years. 3 years all for
But you
Laziness.
see, for them, the plea deal, he did go to jail. It's a win. for
It's a
them.
win.
It's a win.
It's a political win.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And they're from Erie County, which is even worse because we can't even vote against them.
Right.
So they skate away, you know, where maybe if it was in Erie County, they do something different because they'd have to worry about being voted on for.
Right.
So maybe we should have had Niagara County.
I was just saying. I was
maybe
just about
we
to say
should have
that.
had them
Like,
all.
I almost regret not being Niagara County.
Because
Take it over.
and then just have a big circus that
But
it
look what
is.
Niagara County's now doing
Yeah, yeah.
with
Right.
this other case of his.
Right.
They're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it in Niagara County court? Right?
Yeah,
It's not city court.
Nope, Niagara County. The only thing that they didn't change was the judge, but everything else is Niagara County DAs, Niagara County prosecutors. Then they still have Judge Gibbons coming in to oversee it. She shouldn't be allowed
No,
now,
what's the
No.
point? No.
but because it's supposedly attached to the sex case.
Right.
So that's why I think she's still involved.
And isn't that funny? Because when we wanted it attached to the case,
Right.
they said, no, it
Yeah.
isn't. Remember that one time when you go to court when we were there? And that was what we were hoping was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they're going to put this together.
Yep.
And they
Mhm.
said, no.
Yeah.
Now it's okay.
No,
Yeah, now it's
All right, Noel. So anything else that you can think of that's been going on?
Mm.
No, me neither. You? Anything, Robin?
No.
Gail? Anything? No, I don't know. So after 4 months, the thing that pisses me off is, and I know it does you a ton, but it just never ends.
No.
This will never end. Like, I'm not saying it should, but like if you'd have done 20 years, at least you'd have a little break
Right.
in the action. There's no break here.
No.
And especially for those that they threw their cases out. Now there's really no break.
He's still doing stuff from jail. He was caught having internet access. He wasn't allowed to have internet access. Why is nothing being done with that?
Yeah.
because
Niagara County Sheriff's.
I think he got to the girl. I think he got to the girl just like he did to all those other victims.
Probably paid her off.
Yeah, coming forward, and then when he was still out there walking because he didn't get put behind bars,
Right.
all of a sudden everybody was quiet.
And he's the perfect example of why, right? There should be
Mhm.
bail.
Mhm.
And that guy said, Clock said that he wasn't a risk,
Yeah.
or anything. And that's just, he wasn't a flight risk. No, don't worry about that. He's a menace to the people around him. He's a danger. But I know it's all old news. It's just tough.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't stop. But we're gonna have new news quickly because he's gonna be out by Thanksgiving.
He gets to get out before the holidays. He
Yep.
gets to enjoy the holidays with his family.
And then doesn't have to go see that court again until after it's done.
Yeah.
Sometime in January.
Yep.
Wow, he gets to see the bowl games.
And
He
you
gets to do
know,
it all.
I happened to talk to a lawyer who had been watching this case. And I went to my high school reunion, and he was the first person that came up to me to talk about it. And I was telling him how he still doesn't have a level of sex offender attached to him. And he goes, I've never heard of it. He goes, no, that's not right. I said, I know what I'm talking about. I was in the court
Yeah.
when
Over
the
and over.
judge said that they would revisit it when he got out. He goes, I have never heard of that. I go, well, now you have.
Yeah.
Now you have. He says they always get sentenced with a level before they even go into jail.
Yeah, I mean that's what I assumed.
Yeah.
I never realized it'd be like
How about
this.
that? Just the fact that when he first got charged, there was no bail given.
Oh,
There's no
yeah,
bail given on
that's
those
nuts.
charges. He got no bail.
He got arraigned on 11 or
37
12
felonies.
felonies. What I always thought when they go into jail, at least they show this in the prison shows. Maybe it's not that's where they would do the what do you call it? It's not called evaluate something. like an evaluation as to what they like. I would figure that would be where they put the labels. Like there'd be no.
Now, where he is right now is the Niagara County Jail.
Yeah.
And in Niagara County Jail, there's 2 sections to that jail. One section is jail cell. So the people who are very violent or who can't play nice in the population, when they're on the other side, so they go there. They go into a jail cell. The other side are pods, and there's 4 pods. And if you ever want to just go on the internet and look up what a pod is, it's a big open area with what you would call them cells, but they have doors with windows on them
Right.
and stuff like that. So all day long, those are open, except for when they're doing a head count or say there's a fight in the pod, everybody needs to go to their cell and get shut in. Other than that, all day long, they can sit around in the common area. They can play cards with each other. They can talk. They eat together. They
Watch some TV.
watch TV. They can play basketball. Each pod has its own court.
Oh wow.
So they can go in there to get exercise and play
Nice.
basketball or exercise. 1 hour a day, they do go outside. Everybody gets in that pod, they get to go outside if you want to. But it's not like you are being punished, actually. It's not really a punishment.
Right.
He's in a pod.
Yeah, he's in a pod, I know
Wow.
it. And the pod that he's in is specifically for pedophiles and rapists and, sexual assault people. So they put them all together so that the population won't hurt them. So they're segregated. He's protected there too. Nobody in those pods are going to hurt each other because they're all the same kind of people.
Right.
Right.
But if you went out into the population, now those guys might want to take care of you.
Right.
So they keep them segregated. So he is not suffering at all. The only thing he's not doing is sleeping in his own bed at night.
Yeah, he's even doing the other stuff with the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing it all.
Yes. So,
Wow.
I mean, and I know because I work there. And it is not, some people don't deserve to be in a cell. Okay. They don't, you got in trouble. I get that part of it. But him and people like him should be sitting in a cell because you harmed somebody else.
Right. Mallory asks, do child abusers go into this pod?
Yes.
Yeah, they would be there too,
Yes.
right? With the molesters,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
the rapists.
Yep. And unless you get into a fight or you
Gotta
do
hope somebody
something,
beats his ass and jails.
if
I
you
don't
do
care if
something,
another sex offender just beat his ass.
no, they don't. And like, if they did get into a fight, then that person would go into the other side, into a jail
Jesus
cell.
Christ. Think about this. They really compare notes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
These sickos,
Mhm.
all sitting together.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're sex offenders, they're not done. There still are.
Right.
Oh my God. They're just becoming better ones as they sit there.
Exactly.
Holy Christ. We're fucked.
They're making connections.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're making connections.
He's probably best friends with all of them.
He's kitty porn. He should be, right? Because that's right up his alley.
They're probably talking about
And he thinks
porn
he's
all
got money, and they probably think he's going to be able to help him out. When he comes out, he's got money, and sure he does. We saw the thing in Canada. Whatever that is, he has money in Canada.
Yeah.
$6 grand.
Yep.
I mean, what was that? Was that? That was
According to the
unbelievable.
sheriff's department,
It was nothing.
according to that.
Hmm.
But they're just hiding it. That's what they're doing.
We actually have it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We have the screenshot.
We have the screenshot of it, and it's what it is. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Just
And it's
Alright.
verifiable. There's
there's account numbers and stuff. Yeah, if you really want to figure it out.
This girl just needs to talk, but she's not talking.
No, she's been gotten to.
No, I'm sure.
All right, why don't we? What's that say? Is it my phone or is it pause? Damn it, internet. Oh,
Well, it did go to 0 for a second.
did it really?
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening here tonight because we spun out too there for a little bit. Yeah, something happened. We must got knocked off. Are we still on?
It won't even let me get stars.
No stars tonight.
No, it won't let me.
Mine is frozen also
Oh,
for some reason. All right, let's get out of here then. All right, it's time to go. We'll be back next week at episode 156.
yes.
So we'll get out of here. We'll go. We covered a lot with Dennis, and we'll keep Dennis on with us. We are going to do that thing with Dennis someday.
Yeah.
Once we,
Absolutely. He's the perfect person.
yeah, because I think we're going to have a nice crowd.
Yeah.
We'll get a really nice crowd of people. We can meet them at Walmart.
We'll probably find Nick right away.
You think that's what we could do? We can meet people at Walmart, have them come to Walmart to Starbucks somewhere, in the public.
Yeah.
And then we can just video them as they come. All right, let's get out of here. Everybody take care and
Bye, guys.
bye. Let me find our music. All right. See you next week.